Alexander, please. Julian Coleridge. I'm calling from New York. Yes, I think he's expecting my call. Sooner or later.
Jill, is that really you? How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
How long has it been? Class reunion 73, yeah?
Uh-huh. The night you tried to get us all to go swimming in Bethesda Fountain after the banquet. Listen, I received all your Christmas cards, and they were wonderful. And I was wondering if that job offer was really an offer, or do you offer that to all your people that you went to law school with?
No, that's special to you. A firm like ours, a lawyer of your capabilities. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I do.
Well, come on out. In fact, come to Hawaii. We have a wonderful condominium.
Well, I don't know about the condominium in Hawaii, but I do know I like the job offer in San Francisco. I feel like I need the change. Well, terrific. Listen, I could probably get out as soon as possible. Let me see. How about tomorrow, maybe the next day? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll call about a flight reservation. All right? And I'll be in touch with you. And thanks a million. Bye, Ken.
San Francisco? So, where were you last night?
Me? Where were you?
I expected to see you last night. I sat around downstairs thinking you'd turn up, or at least call.
You were here, in your quarters?
Well, where else? The houseboat's still out of bounds for us, isn't it?
Well, I waited for you at Greenberg's for more than an hour, and I finally gave up, had a sandwich, and went home.
I don't get it. I was supposed to know you were at Greenberg's?
I left a note for you in your mailbox.
Nancy, there was no note.
I'm sorry, but I wrote a note for you, left it in your mailbox, went to Greenberg's, and no Pat. Why didn't you call me?
Where, at home? I thought you might call me.
Well, I just assumed there was some kind of emergency or... This is silly. We had a misunderstanding. Come here. I miss you. I'm sorry. What a waste of time. You're still angry?
No, I'm sorry too.
Well, if you're not angry, you're doing an awfully good imitation.
Are you telling me what I feel?
Pat, what's happening?
I don't know. I guess I'm finding the situation a little hard to take.
Well, it's not exactly a kick for me.
The difference is you made a choice, Nancy. I didn't.
How can you say that? Because I said I can't marry you. Well, you knew that before. We never had that option.
I wonder. Okay. What about the options we do have? Living together for now?
You're asking when now starts, is that it?
Or when the waiting stops?
That depends on Daddy. I want to go back to the houseboat and be with you for as long as we can manage. But what if I went with you tonight? Daddy's not ready to hear that. And Mama would be terrified Daddy would find out and get sick again. Now, if I can't tell either one of them, then we're right back where we started. Pat, my hands are tied.
Yeah, well, looking at it that way,
The only other alternative we have is to wait.
Till?
Told Daddy's blood pressure doesn't go up every time your name is mentioned.
What? You said he was upset when you mentioned me, but I didn't...
Well, I didn't go into details. Adam, Dr. Cohen was taking his blood pressure. Daddy asked about you out of the blue and his pressure zoomed. Just a simple conversation about you could put him in physical danger. Not imagined, but real, tangible, measured by a machine. And you're saying that I'm making the choices bad. Don't do that to me.
Oh, Nan, please. This is the last thing I want. Hey, you're what I want. And if I can't have you for the rest of our lives, or even for a short while on the houseboat, at least I want you someplace close, not shut off from me. I'm getting the feeling that things are changing and I'm helpless.
I moved back here because I love you. That hasn't changed. I want this waiting to be over just as much as you do.
I know. If I sound selfish or impatient, what you're hearing is panic. And I sat there downstairs and I waited. I couldn't call. I couldn't take any action to bring you back. Okay, now I know it was a mistake. In my head, I know that. But somewhere else, it feels like you took one more step away from me and you're not coming back.
What can I do?
Oh, excuse me. I just came from your father's room. He seems to have gotten much better.
Thank you.
His blood pressure stabilized. I haven't seen any more sudden elevations.
Well, Mama and I are trying not to upset him.
That's wise.
Adam, I'm glad to hear all that, but Nancy and I were in the middle of something private. Would you mind?
Of course. I'll go downstairs to the coffee machine.
Thanks.
Was that necessary?
You and I have little enough time together.
We don't exactly own this space. What right do we have?
We don't seem to have any rights at all, Nan. It's one thing to worry about your father and how he reacts, but do you have to put the whole world ahead of us, too?
A spokesman for the grand jury said that evidence linking Novak's Brooklyn fishing operations with narcotic smuggling and other illegal activities is clearly insufficient to bring an indictment against him.
Hooray!
When asked if further investigation would be made of Mr. Novak's activities, Assistant District Attorney Hanley declined comment. What's that mean, I wonder? Probably they'll just keep an eye on him.
I think it means the DA's got egg all over his face, and I'm glad. I knew Joe Novak didn't do anything wrong. He's too nice a guy. And cute, too.
Well, he's been pleasant enough the few times I've met him. Still.
Siobhan likes him a lot.
I haven't seen much evidence of that.
Well, maybe she doesn't tell you everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's only natural. I mean, girls are more open with each other. Anyway, now that he's in the clear, who knows what'll happen?
Just calm yourself, Delia. Just because a man sends my daughter a fish, takes her out a couple of times, that doesn't mean they're headed for the altar. Yeah, this is fine.
I know. She's still your baby, isn't she? But you don't want her to turn out to be an old maid now, do you? I mean, can you see it 30 years from now? Rimless glasses and gray hair and still working for those birth control people? Where are you going?
I thought I'd go down and check on the stock. This seems to be a perfect time.
Can I come down and help?
Who wouldn't mind the store, Dee?
Are the proprietors in?
Frank! Why aren't you in Washington?
Well, I thought I'd fly all the way up for a free breakfast. Where is everybody?
Aren't I somebody?
Well, I was looking for everybody.
Well, Maeve's upstairs vacuuming and Johnny's in the basement. Kevin doesn't come in till noon, so I'm helping out.
Well, you get a gold star. I'll tell you what, you can ring this up too if you like.
Oh, now don't be ridiculous. So, how are you?
Good. You?
Fine, thanks. But a lot you care with all your wedding plans going into high gear.
No, Ray's handling most of that. How's little John?
Okay, he's at a playgroup in the park. I guess the woman's always more excited about the wedding, huh? Even the second time around. Actually, come to think of it, each time I got married, I was more excited than the last. I bet everybody who's anybody's gonna be there, huh? I hope Roger and I get invited, because I found this most wonderful dress with itty-bitty spaghetti straps. It says important occasion all over it.
An itty-bitty print?
No. So tell me more. How many people gonna be there? Is Jill invited, or would that be too awkward?
Dee, why don't I just send you a copy of my Washington newsletter? There's a full report in there.
Really? Oh, now I remember that about you. When you start making jokes, every time somebody asks a question, it means you're afraid to answer. Like when we were married and you started seeing Jill and I'd ask where you'd been so late, you'd say, well, I've been out chasing wooden Indians. Or I went over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
Did you say Mom was upstairs?
You really hate talking to me, don't you?
I just don't care for ancient history, Dee.
What's ancient? I'm talking about now. I just wondered about your wedding plans, but obviously you don't care for the subject.
No, I love the subject.
Well, so do I, you know. There's nothing more interesting to me than people getting together. Who sees in who, if you know what I mean. You don't. Well, why a particular man would fall for a particular woman? Like with Roger and me, for instance.
You got me.
Well, see, you don't like me now, but back then, you were really after me. What was it?
Dee, I believe it was you who made that happen.
Oh, you had nothing to do with it. I just led you around by the nose.
Well, to tell you the truth, it's a question I have often asked myself. And I suppose it was because I had a weakness for damsels in distress.
You wanted to rescue me? That's really interesting. So did Patty. And if you look at Seneca and Jill, there's a little of that there, too. Yeah. Do you think most men feel that way? I mean, even with women's lib?
Probably more than would like to admit it.
That is wonderful. I mean, it's so romantic. There could be this girl all sad or miserable about something, and then some handsome guy comes along and notices and wants to help. And before you know it, they're a pair.
Who's they?
Well, anybody, according to you.
Nah, don't kid me, Dee. You've got somebody on your mind. Who are you planning to set up this time?
Dr. Cohen, I was hoping I'd run into you.
Oh, hello, Miss Coleridge. Is there anything I can do for you?
Well, actually, I was wondering how Dave Feldman is. You know how concerned I am, and I just hate to intrude with the family there and all.
He's doing very nicely.
Good.
Is there a message you want to leave for your husband?
No, I see him all the time. Look kind of down or something, are you?
No, I was just thinking about a patient. If you'll excuse me.
Boy, it looks like Pat Ryan's in a bad mood. Of course, that's nothing new. You know Patty, don't you?
Not very well, actually.
Well, when you do, you see what I mean. The least little thing will set him off. He probably broke a shoelace or something.
No, I think it was more than that. He and Nancy seem to be having a serious conversation.
Really? Oh, no. Well, then I know what it is. Was she upset? I bet she was.
I don't think we should be talking about this.
Oh, you don't want to gossip. I can understand that. I admire that integrity, but I can tell he's doing his famous love him and leave him routine. Now I see all the signs.
Pat Ryan is a ladies' man?
Would you believe it? Dozens and dozens. But poor Nancy shouldn't be one of them. She's so sweet and innocent. And to just stand by on the sidelines and watch it,
I think you may be wrong.
I'd like to believe he'd change, you know that, but I know better. See, he can't help himself. Basically, he's a decent human being, but he just has this need to prove himself with women. Yeah, he gets all involved with a girl and makes all these demands on her time and attention. Never mind she's got a family or job, he has to be first in her life. So she tries and tries to be exactly what he wants, gives up everything, stands on her head, and it's never enough, of course. So he breaks it off, finally, and tells her it's her fault.
She did seem upset.
Well, sure. She's bound to be miserable. Her heart must be breaking. Somebody should really straighten her out. That's what's needed. But what are you going to do if somebody's headed for disaster?
Doesn't she know about his track record?
Well, sure. And I'll bet in her heart of hearts she also knows that he's absolutely wrong for her, even if he were to take her seriously. But how could she leave him now?
I don't follow.
Well, she's already lost so much. Her dancing career, her father now so sick. I mean, a person can only take so much. I doubt she'd have the strength to break it off. But he will, you watch.
Have you told any of this to her?
I tried, but see, Nancy doesn't need a girlfriend. She needs a strong man to rescue her and show her a good time and take her minds off things, off Pat.
Prince Charming type, huh?
Yeah. Preferably Jewish. I mean, might as well save Beryl's heart, too.
Well, I think the knight in shining armor routine has gone out, you know.
You too? Well, maybe an old-fashioned idea, but... Oh, that poor girl.
So, what's in San Francisco?
Why don't you tell me? Obviously, you were eavesdropping.
No, that was not intentionally. Came down because I hoped maybe we could talk things out. You were on the phone. I didn't want to interrupt. What, a job in San Francisco?
A strong possibility.
Oh, you're still running, huh?
Oh, you came to talk things out. You're off to a rotten start.
Well, Jillian, what else is it? I mean, you move out of the bedroom. You move out of the apartment last night. Now it's the West Coast. Where does it stop?
When I can look at me and see myself again.
Well, I hope that's true, because if you ever took a real clear look at your life, you would see what a destructive pattern you...
Oh, all I have to do to see that is look at the last year. When I stopped listening to myself and listened to your conception of me.
Jillian, that wasn't what happened.
You see, you can't even stop now. You have to make those pronouncements.
No, it's you. You hear everything I say as a pronouncement. Everything I do, every feeling that I express is I'm trying to control you.
Correct.
Wait a minute, wait. Hold on. Let's start over again. I seem to have gotten off on the wrong foot. Jillian, I can't believe you meant what you said last night.
Yeah, I guess you would find that difficult.
A divorce, even a separation, it's totally wrong.
Do you hear yourself?
Yes. I don't want a divorce.
But I do. Yeah, I lay in my father's house last night in my old bedroom. And I really thought a lot about us. And how unfair and dishonest we've been with each other. I mean, because everything that was good, all the good parts of the relationship, made us gloss over everything that was wrong.
No, you see, that is simply not true. I mean, we looked very carefully at the trouble spots. We even drew up a contract.
But it didn't work. A legal document can create what isn't there. That's including both of us. We are just not good for each other. It's all wrong.
No.
Yes. Yes. Seneca, somewhere out there is a fine, intelligent, and somewhat dependent woman who is aching to have you tell her exactly what to do. Please, go and find her, because that is what you really want.
And you?
I thought a lot about that, too. I looked up at the ceiling where I used to project all my childhood fantasies. And I remembered how I used to see myself as a grown-up. I was either a doctor like my father, a writer, a scientist, an actress. But I was never with anyone. No husband and no mate. I never even thought about that until last night. Look, maybe I am just not cut out for marriage. Maybe I can't be married to anyone. Some people just can't be in a partnership.
You know, it's really curious how eager you are to get out of this partnership before Frank Ryan gets into...
Oh, listen, you forget about Frank Ryan for once. He is not the issue. He is going to marry Ray with my blessings. This is about us and our marriage. It was wrong from the start. I just want to end this with some sort of dignity and the least amount of pain and hurt.
Jillian, answer me this. Would you be doing this if Edmund were alive?
I think so. Inevitably.
And how about his memorial? You gonna walk out on that too?
I think that you and Ray can control that. You'll do a fine job. Now, please, I really need to use the phone and make my plane reservations.
You think I can't follow you to San Francisco?
Oh, I'm sure you can. But you would be making a gigantic mistake. I'll just use the phone in the other room. Seneca, it really is over.
No, it's not.
What if the perfect guy for you is in LA, or DC, or New York City? Get ready to take a holiday, a new original reality series, all new this Wednesday at 10 on SoapNet.